Hello, and welcome back to Lesson 5 of Unit 5 Equations. We are going to, again, recap of what we've done so far. I actually can't give you an entire recap, but hopefully you're okay with, the idea behind there's many different ways to solve it. Hopefully I haven't confused you by, showing you all those different ways. I just wanted you to be exposed to different kinds of methods. And for those of you who are looking for a challenge, you might want to pick out for each question. There is one way that works, easier than the other ways. So you might want to pick out which way that is. For those of you who want some regularity and want to make life easy, you just, pick one way that you're doing it, stick to that method no matter what. And they are transferables. They do work for all kinds of questions, with the exception of some. So again, make sure you're going over the previous videos. Please make sure to ask if you have any questions. I know this has made it more difficult to ask questions directly, or difficult for you to give me feedback on whether I'm going too fast or too slow. But that's the reason why I've you can reach out to me on Snapchat, or post a comment below this video, or any of the videos that you have any questions with the content. So yeah, hopefully again we're just keeping on top of all these things so that we're not struggling at the last moment. And I will say again, this is really not the unit you want to be doing what's the word for it, kind of half standard work, because this is really one of the most important units going into the future of just algebra and solving equations in general. So very important unit. Don't take it too lightly. So we are going to continue solving some of these questions. We're going to start over here. And again, this is just solving equations using fractions. We're just going to continue doing the way that we've done it, looking at the different methods we can use to solve these questions. So we're going to jump to here. And we are going to actually, sorry, give me one moment. Okay, let's start with part one. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to convert this evil looking mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Minus 7 equals 5 over 2x. The next thing we're going to do is, again, there's different ways you can do. I would say okay, I have two x terms. The first thing I want to do is collect the x terms and move the constants to the other side. That's one option. So I would say I do 3x divided by 4 minus 5x over 2 equals positive 7. And then I would find the lowest common denominator here, which is 4, multiply each term by 4 to kind of remove all the fractions in this scenario. You can take the lowest common denominator between these two terms first, and then worry about the 7. Yeah, you first have to collect the x terms before you do anything. That's the most important step. Before you kind of break up an x term. So 4 get canceled. This is just 3x. 2 and 4 gives me a 2. So minus 10x equals 14. This is negative 7x equals 14. Divide both sides by negative 7. X equals negative 2. So that was that answer. Again, I'm not pausing per se, because I know you can pause the video yourself if you're copying down straight. But yeah. So okay, very important. Whenever I have a binomial divided by a single, divide in a fraction, I'm going to put brackets around the numerator. And again, I have y terms on both sides of the equal to sign, so I have to combine them, but I can't combine them because of this bracket, right? Both of these things are divided by 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually multiply both sides by my lowest common denominator, which is in fact 12. So 3 bracket y minus 5. And that's one reason why it's important to put the brackets, because the brackets carry over even after you get rid of the fraction. 4 times 2y plus 7. Now that we have that, it's just distributive property before we kind of start moving things over. 3y minus 8y, 28 plus 15. So negative 5y equals 33 plus 10, 43. And then divide both sides by negative 5, or move negative 5 to the denominator here. I get y equals negative 43 over 5. Remember, negative always goes on the numerator. So there we go. Yeah, that was that question. That was question B. Let's take a look at some of these questions. Very similar looking question. First step, you have to put brackets around the numerators because they're divided by a fraction. Lowest common denominator here is 21, so times 21 times 21 times 21. Each term on both sides. So 3 and 21 cancel to give me 7. 7 times x plus 3. 7, 21 cancels to give me 3. So watch out for the negative here. So this is negative 3 bracket 2 minus x equals 1 times 21 is 21. Now again, it's the usual stuff. Distributive property, collect like terms, add, move stuff. The usual jazz. 7x plus 3x is 10x. 21 minus 6 is negative. Oh, whoops, positive 15 equals 21. Move the positive 15 over here to make it negative 15, which 21 minus 15 is 6. Divide by 10, I get x equals 6 over 10, or 3 over 5. Here, again, nothing to be worried about. There, again, the way you could do distributive property right away for all, even like part B and C, you could use distributive property and make this question like x over 3 plus 3 over 3 is 1 minus 2 over 7 plus x over 7 equals 1. Then you have to collect like terms here. You have to collect like terms here. Move this to the other side. And it's complicated. This is the easier way to do it, and so you would try it doing it that way. Here as well, this is a little bit more complicated, but again, common denominator here is 6. Three and 6 cross cancel to give me 2. I have a 2 and another 2 here, so that gives me 4, because there's 2 2's, times x plus 2. 6 and 6 just cancel to give me 1 and 1, so I'm just left with negative 5 x minus 2. 3 times 6 is 18. So let's do some multiplication there. 4x plus 8 minus 5x plus 10. Be very careful about the sign. This looks interesting because I have 4x minus 5x is negative x plus 18 equals 18. And if I move this 18 over to this side, I get 18 minus 18 equals 0. So if negative x equals 0, positive x also equals 0. You can kind of divide both sides by negative 1, but in the end, you'll get x equals 0. So that's the answer. And that's a perfectly valid answer. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's check this question out. Again, I see some binomial with the fraction, put brackets. It's the first step. You never want to skip that step. Again, I see 2m. I see m's on both sides. Of the equal to sign, I'm going to multiply everything by lowest common denominator. In this case, is 6. I could actually move the 4 over to one side before I work. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I already started. Doesn't. 3 bracket m plus 3 minus 24. You could have moved the 4 alone to this side and made it 11 and then multiplied it by 6. It's the same thing. Equals 2 bracket 4 minus m plus 42. And now I'm going to move this 24 over here and I get 66, which is what I would have got anyway. But I will, on the same step, actually do some expansion. 3m plus 9 equals 8 minus 2m plus 66. Again, you could have expanded combined stuff with the 24 before you moved it. It doesn't, again, there's going to be infinite number of ways to do this. I'll write the extra step. 8 plus 66 is 74. Now I'm going to move the 2m over here, move the 9 over here. I get 3m plus 2m is 5m. 74 minus 9 is 65. Moving the 5 to the denominator, m equals 13. Let's do a quick check. Well, quick as in, I wouldn't call this necessarily quick. That's my left-hand side. M here is 13 plus 3. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. 13 plus 3 is 16 divided by 2. This is 8 minus 4, which equals to 4. Let's check my right-hand side. 4 minus 13 divided by 3 plus 7. 4 minus 13 is negative 9 divided by 3 plus 7. This is negative 3 plus 7, which is equal to positive 4. Left-hand side equals right-hand side, hence checked. And that was that. So hopefully we'll see. We're kind of getting the hang of this now, hopefully, by this point. Again, it will take some time. I appreciate that, but as always, I might have actually mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch using the many different ways or avenues that are available to you. Please don't look at this video, think it's too complicated, and give up. The earlier you start, the better it is. And I know, doing work is not really. There's not really much motivation right now, but find it within the depths of your soul, and try get on this stuff early, because you don't want it to keep this stuff till the last moment. Okay, so given the formula to convert Fahrenheit temperature to Celsius is C equals 5 over 9 Fahrenheit minus 32. Convert 95 Fahrenheit to Celsius. This one's fairly easy because I'm given the Fahrenheit and my formula is for Celsius. So Celsius equals 5 divided by 9 times 95 minus 32 equals 5 divided by 9 times 63. Cancel. 35 degrees Celsius. That was easy. This one is a bit more complicated because now I have to kind of reverse my formula. I'm given 20 degrees Celsius. 5 over 9 times Fahrenheit minus 32. I have only one variable that's on one side inside a bracket, so I'm not going to disturb the bracket until the end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some transposing. So 9 here is in the denominator. This is part of one term, right? This is all it's all multiplied and divided here. So when I move the 9 up here, it's going to be multiplied. It's going to go to the numerator. The 5 is going to come down to the denominator. And I'm left with the bracket. So cross cancel some stuff. 36 equals F minus 32. And then I can remove, now I'm going to simplify the bracket by moving this minus 32 over to here. So 36 plus 32 is 68 equals Fahrenheit. So the variable f equals 68 degrees Fahrenheit is 20 degrees Celsius. So that was, we have converted that successfully. So okay, hopefully that was I think that was relatively easy compared to what we did last page. So I'm not gonna spend too much time looking over that. Okay, write an equation in terms of one variable. 1/2 of a certain even integer plus 1/5 of the next consecutive even integer equals 48. Find the two integers. Very important to pay attention to the wording, even integers. So let x or n represent a certain even integer. So the next consecutive even integer, so if like 2 is the first even integer, the next even integer would be 4. If 32 or 36 is one for the first even integer, the next one would be 38. So really what we're doing here is n plus 2 is the next even number. So you have to add 2. The next, if there was no even, it would just be n plus 1. But because the even is there, we're skip counting by 2. So we're jumping 2 to get to n plus 2. So 1/2 of a certain, so again, read the question, 1/2 of a certain even integer. 1/2 of n times n plus 1/5 of the next 1/5 of the next integer equals 48. That's the equal to sign, 48 is 48. So again, here what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this in a better form with the bracket here. And again, I'm just going to look, okay, lowest common denominator is 10. I am going to multiply everything by 10. This is 5n. 2 bracket n plus 2, 480. Use distributive property here. Collect like terms, move the 4. 480 minus 4 is 476. Divide both sides by 7. And I should get n equals 68. And that is my answer. So quick check. I mean, 1/2 of 68 is 34. The next consecutive even integer is 70. So 1/5 of 70 is 14. So if I add these two, I do indeed get 48. So that is the correct answer. I'll take a quick look at the homework with you. I think we've looked over most of this. It just keeps going back to the same 2 pages. I don't know what's left on these pages. Oh, is this a word problem? Question 12, CDE. Yeah, we've done that. Like, we know how to do that. 14D. This is very, okay, you can try question number 14, all of them. Page 222, 12F. Let's go to 222. 12F. What's 12F? There is no 12F. Is there any F part F? No. Oh, 12F is right here. But we've done that as well. We've talked about that in a previous video, so nothing to worry about. Okay, question page 250. This is probably like the review, so we'll go there. Questions 7 and 9. Okay, 7. Nothing that's particularly complicated here. Again, you might want to move the 4 first and then multiply like this by 6. Multiply this by 6. And multiply this has become a negative 10 on this side because I moved the 4, and multiply negative 10 also by 6, cross cancel. Remove, don't forget the brackets on the numerator. That's easy. Nothing else. Is x equals 3 the solution to this? What we can do is use a particular, so you can do left side equals 5, 3x minus 2. You can sub in the 3. You can solve this, so that's 9 minus 2 is 7, 35. The right-hand side equals 4 minus 10 bracket x plus 1, x equals 3, so this is 4, 40. 4 minus 40 is negative 36. Then you say left-hand side not equal to right-hand side, therefore x minus 3 is not the solution, if I've done all my calculations correctly. So that's the way, that's what you're going to do there. So you can show that in detail, but yeah, well, okay, actually we're going to come to worksheet 2. I would, you know what, I'm not going to do any of these. Like I don't usually do the worksheets. I'm going to ask you to, again, I know you haven't really been doing this, but if you, just to make sure we're doing it, I'd like you to solve. Hey, okay, you know what? Just give me the answers to 1 and 2. Like, give me those answers over here. Like, I like you to do the worksheet and post the answer in the comments below this video. So, what do you get when you cross a shark with a snowball? I honestly have no idea. When you cross an absent-minded elephant with a small flea. Fleafant? I don't know. So again, you're gonna solve all these questions. You're gonna post the answers to these, and this is a good way because the answers are here. You can check your work. If you have any particular trouble with the question, also put that in the comments below, and we will talk about that in another video. So okay, so we're almost at the end. We're just going to do one more lesson, which involves word problems, before we finish with our review and things. So until then, stay safe, practice, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out.